Hey guys, today I'll show you a 2023 horror thriller film named Disquiet. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie begins with Sam, originally having a happy life, with his wife about to give birth and his company gradually getting on track. Everything was moving in a positive direction until a sudden car accident threw Sam into crisis. One day he woke up from a coma and found himself sharing a room with an old man. The ward was eerily silent. Sam pressed the emergency button in his hand, but no nurses came. He removed the various tubes from his body and got out of bed, only to notice that the person in the bed next to him was gone. The next second, the old man charged at him, pinning him down on the bed. Sam struggled, grabbed a tray, and hit the old man with it. He rushed to the door, shouting for help, but the old man attacked him again. They fought in the hallway, and Sam picked up a stand to knock the old man down, but was grabbed by him. Desperate, Sam knocked over a tray, grabbed a scalpel from the ground, and stabbed the old man repeatedly until he was finally dead. He got up and continued to call for help, but no one answered. Strangely, the old man's body disappeared, leaving only a puddle of blood on the floor. Sam picked up the scalpel and returned to the ward only to find the old man back in his bed. He opened a cabinet, took out his phone, and saw that there was no signal. Frantically, he put on his clothes, ready to escape, but a nurse in fat suddenly appeared, blocking his way and urging him to rest in bed. Sam explained that he had been attacked, pointing to the old man's bed, which was now empty. The nurse then vanished without any trace of her fat, leaving Sam's mind in chaos. He immediately ran to the elevator, but before it arrived at his floor, he heard the old man's angry roar from behind. The old man charged at the elevator with a menacing snarl, scaring Sam to wet his pants. As the old man approached, Sam's nerves were on edge, but fortunately the elevator doors opened just in time, keeping the crazed old man out. However, a sudden banging noise came from above, followed by the old man lifting up a metal sheet to reveal his eerie face. Sam stumbled out of the elevator and collapsed on the ground, trying to recover from the intense fright. Meanwhile, a woman was lying on an operating table about to be put under anesthesia. Just as her consciousness began to blur, she saw that the doctor and the nurse had no facial features. The woman then lost consciousness, and when she woke up again, she was alone. She tried to get up and leave, but was restrained by several sexy ladies. They approached her with scalpels in hand, frightening the woman into screaming in a chicken voice. Sam heard the noise and rushed over, brandishing an IV stand to fend off the monsters. However, he was stabbed by one of the sexy ladies. Sam, enduring the pain, managed to knock her unconscious without hormone mercy. The other two ladies raised their scalpels and advanced towards Sam. The woman on the operating table took the opportunity to flee, and Sam also escaped the room, using an iron rod to bar the door handle. He led the woman deeper into the hallway, relieved to have finally met a normal person. Her name was Monica, and her last memory was of being prepped for surgery. Neither of them knew what had happened here, but they knew they had to leave immediately. Sam went to the front desk to find a landline phone, but it wasn't working. He handed a white coat to Monica and told her to cover her naked body. Just then, cries for help came from the next room. Sam mustered his courage to investigate and found a man handcuffed to a bed. His name was Carter, and he had been brought to the hospital after being mistakenly wounded by the police. Sam immediately freed him. The trio armed themselves with scalpels for protection and headed towards the elevator. Unexpectedly, the trio of lady killers appeared again to flex their sexy bodies. They crawled rapidly on all fours toward them. Sam didn't have time to wait for the elevator and urged his companions to run to the staircase. He barred the door, allowing the other two to run ahead. Soon, one of the ladies shattered the glass, and Sam had no choice but to sprint downstairs. A monstrous hand suddenly grabbed him, and a white-coated orderly pulled Sam out of the stairwell. He warned Sam not to go downstairs, or else he would never be able to come back. As the orderly finished speaking, his facial features disappeared, leaving Sam terrified. Fortunately, a black-haired woman named Lily rushed over and knocked the orderly unconscious, causing Sam to fall into a stupor as well. Lily pushed Sam away, and they encountered a man in a wheelchair halfway down the hall. She explained that she needed to get Sam downstairs. Apparently, Sam was a selfish workaholic who had caused a car accident while texting and driving. The man in the wheelchair refused to let Sam be taken downstairs, believing that he was a good person who deserved a second chance. From this, it could be deduced that Sam's real body was still being resuscitated, and the ongoing incidents were merely a near-death hallucination. If he reached the ground floor, he might die for good. Lily agreed to give him another chance, and Sam regained consciousness. He grabbed some painkillers nearby, swallowed them, and picked up an axe to leave. Before he could step out of the room, a police officer stopped him. The officer, unsure of why he was in the hospital, nervously held a gun. Sam explained that he wasn't a monster and was also trapped in the place. The officer finally relaxed and let Sam look out the window. When Sam pulled back the curtain, all he saw was darkness. The officer told Sam that before entering the hospital, he had been at a convenience store buying donuts and coffee. The store owner had hinted at a hooded thief behind the officer. Upon hearing this, the officer reached for his gun and turned around, only to find two people wearing hoodies. One of them was Carter. Before the officer could finish his story, he vanished. Sam looked around but saw only an empty hallway. The voice of the man in the wheelchair came from the next room. He introduced himself as Virgil. Sam thought Virgil seemed normal and wanted him to leave with them. However, Virgil was very calm and suggested that they go to the rooftop to see if they could get a signal. Sam thought it was a good idea and pushed Virgil out. Coincidentally, Lily also caught up with them. She was a doctor at the facility. While she was napping at work, her colleagues and patients had disappeared, leaving only Virgil. The three of them headed to the rooftop together, but didn't get far before encountering the orderly. Lily suggested attacking him, but Virgil said they should try talking first. Sam told Lily to stay put while he approached the orderly alone. He was about to ask how they could leave when he saw a child standing nearby pointing at the ceiling. Sam looked up to see the ceiling light changing color before exploding. The child ran over, shouting for help, and then vanished down the hall. Lily rushed over to help Sam, and when the orderly saw this, he lunged at Sam, warning him to stay away from Lily. He pushed her to the ground. At that moment, Virgil rolled over in his wheelchair, telling the orderly to let go of Sam. The orderly turned and charged at Virgil. Sam couldn't bear to watch and tried to save Virgil, but all that remained in the hallway was an empty wheelchair. Both people had disappeared. Lily hurried over and grabbed Sam, pulling him away. The two hid in the elevator. She urged Sam not to go to the rooftop. As soon as she finished speaking, an orderly dragged her away. The next second, the elevator doors closed, and the sound of an impact came from above. Fearing it was the strange old man again, Sam rushed out of the elevator. Just as he let out a sigh of relief, Monica reappeared. She said she and Carter had searched everywhere but couldn't find an exit. Sam refused to give up hope and walked over to the window, drawing back the curtains to find that the darkness outside had turned into stone walls. At that moment, the sound of the elevator arriving rang out. Both of them anxiously looked over, only to see the orderly's head rolling out, followed by Lily stepping out from the elevator. Excited, Sam embraced her and introduced her to Monica. But the atmosphere between the two women seemed a bit strange. Before long, the sheriff arrived at the scene and fired his gun at the entrance, but the glass remained unscathed. Carter also rushed over after hearing the gunfire. The sheriff raised his gun when he saw Carter, accusing him of causing trouble at the convenience store, which had led him to the hospital. Carter, not backing down, accused the sheriff of racial discrimination, pointing out that there were two men in hoodies, but he had attacked him first, even though the white man was the actual thief. Sam stepped between them, urging them to focus on leaving the hospital. But the sheriff, distrustful of Carter, shot him dead in the chaos. He then turned to Lily, who worked at the hospital, and demanded that she lead him to the exit. Lily explained that she was just filling in, and it was her first time at this hospital. Moreover, she hadn't passed through the lobby. She had taken the staff elevator from the underground parking garage directly into the hospital. With no other options, the sheriff decided to head to the underground garage. He pressed the elevator button, but Sam realized that the orderly's head had disappeared from the floor. The next second, the elevator doors opened and the sheriff was dragged inside. Monica, frightened, ran to the next room. Lily tried to stop Sam from chasing after her, but he was determined to find Monica. He comforted her using his words but not muscles, and the three of them headed to another elevator. Sam looked up to confirm that the strange old man had indeed disappeared. He pressed the button for the basement level, and they soon arrived at their destination. Lily said that the underground parking garage was just ahead, but Monica walked towards a room on the side. Inside, they saw several corpses laid out. Perhaps these people couldn't escape the hospital, so they died here. Monica seemed to think of something and quickly undressed, removing the bandages to check her sexy body. She had supposedly undergone breast augmentation surgery, but there were no incisions on her body. At that moment, Sam found a phone nearby and quickly dialed the police. This time, the call went through, but it disconnected before he could give the address. Suddenly, all the corpses in the room sat up. They had died in the convenience store shooting incident and in Sam's car accident. Before the trio could piece together what was happening, the sheriff appeared at the door. He claimed to have killed the elevator monster and then showed them that his gunshot wound had disappeared. Things were getting stranger, and they needed to find answers. The four of them quickly headed to the garage, with the sheriff leading the way. Unexpectedly, Carter emerged from the emergency exit and charged at the sheriff. After a struggle, the sheriff killed Carter once again, and then he was pulled into the so-called garage. Carter's body instantly vanished. Having witnessed everything, Sam refused to go to the exit Lily mentioned. She then revealed strange claws, and Sam realized she was also one of the monsters. Just as they reached a stalemate, Virgil arrived in his wheelchair. Sam seized the opportunity to grab Monica and run, but she was pulled into the exit. He didn't risk chasing after her and instead followed Virgil into the elevator. However, this elevator couldn't take them to the rooftop, so they had to transfer to another one midway. The two of them passed by the neonatal ward, where Sam heard a baby crying. He went inside to check and saw his wife holding their baby. Sam asked her how to get out of this place, and she said they needed to find a place with a signal. Then the illusion vanished. Sam, deep in thought, removed his bandages to find no wound underneath. He asked Virgil who he was and what was going on with the hospital. Virgil finally confessed that he and Lily were guides responsible for leading newcomers to their destinations. However, their goals were different. One wanted to save people, while the other wanted to lead them to death. To survive, they had to reach the rooftop. Soon they found another elevator, but a little girl was blocking the entrance. She also wanted to leave the hospital. Sam took her hand and led her into the elevator, with Virgil following closely behind. However, the sound from above echoed again, and the persistent old man dropped down. Sam pushed him out of the elevator and stabbed him with a scalpel. He then instructed Virgil to take the girl up the stairs. As the girl entered, the old man lunged at Sam, stabbing him and pushing him to the ground. In his hazy state, Sam saw several patients and the nurse in fat from the beginning. She grabbed Sam's leg and dragged him towards a hospital room. During this, his wife appeared and urged him not to get lost. The nurse in fat didn't stop, pulling him out of the room. Sam saw his own body lying on a bed, receiving emergency treatment. The exploding light bulb symbolized the defibrillator being used on his heart. Sam felt a wave of despair but was saved when Virgil knocked out the nurse and encouraged him to make one last effort. Sam rushed to the stairs with victory in sight. However, the little girl was too scared to move. Sam tried to pull her up, but Lily grabbed him, revealing that everyone who had entered the garage had died. Sam was no longer fooled. He charged to the rooftop and opened the door, pushing the little girl towards the light. At that moment, he found that his phone had a signal. He quickly texted his wife and stepped out the door, indicating he was finally resuscitated from death. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.